to the ranch?" Mac asked, as we watched the ambulance pull away. "Nah, I'll follow him." Mac scrunched his eyes. "Decker, this ain't in your jurisdiction." I shook my head. "I don't have a jurisdiction, Sheriff." Mac looked over to where his deputies were surveying the scene. "Let's be on our way, find out the official time of death, and see if we can figure out who this girl was." Before I walked back to my truck, Mac opened the door of the patrol car and grabbed the bag containing the cell and another pair of gloves. "See if you can crack this thing open."
2. Mila. There was an elevator in my building, but I always took the stairs. I liked the exercise, although 4 flights didn't exactly get my heart rate up. Tonight, like every other night, I couldn't wait to cross the threshold from the hallway into my studio apartment where I could leave the chaos of the city behind and enter my very own Greek island oasis. My walls were painted an aqua blue, and I'd covered my sofa and bed with brightly colored patterns and prints. There were red geraniums in my kitchen, and on my tiny patio, 2 pots of bougainvillea. They died every winter, but in the spring I just planted more. I tossed my satchel on the end of the bed, kicked off my shoes, removed my hot pink raw silk blouse, tossed it on the bed too, and then padded into a kitchen that wasn't big enough to fit 2 people at a time. I opened the refrigerator and pulled out a bottle of rosé. It was a hot and humid 84 degrees outside, even at 6 in the evening, but inside my apartment it was a cool 72. One benefit of living in a 400-square-foot space was it didn't take much to cool it in the summer or heat it in the winter. And even as hot as it was, it still was nowhere near the blazing temps of Texas in July. I unzipped my skirt and tossed it on the pile at the end of my bed, tempted to sit in front of the air conditioner and nothing but my bra and panties. But I couldn't do that. Any minute my friend and neighbor, Adler, would knock on my door, mere seconds before he used the key he kept for emergencies to let himself in. I had enough trouble trying to convince Ad that I wouldn't date him now or ever, no matter how many times he asked. If he walked in on me scantily attired, he'd assume he'd worn me down enough to change my mind. It wasn't that I didn't enjoy Adler's company, and he was certainly attractive enough, with his sandy blonde hair and hazel eyes. He loved to go to the theater and galleries and roam the streets of Boston just like I did. He was well-read and a great conversationalist, but when it came to chemistry, there wasn't any. He might as well be my brother. Not that I had one. Then again, maybe it wasn't Adler at all. I was the one with the problem. I heard Adler's anticipated knock and ducked into the bathroom with my shorts and top in hand. "Hey," I said, coming out while still fastening the bottom button on my blouse. "No need to get dressed on my behalf," he said, eyeing the pile of clothes at the end of my bed and then looking me up and down. "How are you, Ad?" "Hot," he said, plopping down in the chair I'd been sitting in. "Glass of wine?" I asked, escaping into the kitchen. "Sure." When he leaned back and closed his eyes, I checked him out like he had me. His signature summer tank looked like he'd had it since he was a teenager. His shorts, too short in my opinion, but it was the style these days, showed off his sculpted legs. Yeah, Ad had a great body. Why didn't it do anything for me? If only it would. I'd know there was hope for me to have a normal life after all. "I envy how cool your apartment stays." As far as apartments went, he didn't have much to envy. His was 10 times the size of mine. The owners of the building, Adler's parents, had combined all the apartments on the top level into one, and that's where Adler lived. Which meant Adler Livingston was also my landlord. "How was work today?" he asked, taking the glass of wine I offered. "Quiet, but also productive." "When are the students back?" "Officially, not until the end of August, but there are so many workshops going on now." I worked at my alma mater, the Northeastern College of Music, as an adjunct instructor. It was a step below an adjunct professor and several steps lower than a tenured professor. It was my 5th summer as an instructor, and this fall would be the start of my 4th academic year. The private institution, which charged a tuition